your daddy? Guess we'll find out. What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the PHNX Suns podcast pre-game show edition. I'm super flustered. I just found out I tweeted out the wrong link to the show.
Welcome to the post-game show, too.
My bad. I'm having a day. Is it Friday? It's Friday, right? That must
Friday.
Explain things. Is Mercury in retrograde? I don't know what it is. Hopefully we can get through this one. But we are brought to you by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. I'm Lindsay. That's Gerald. That's Steven. And Eric is with us behind the Mac. Don't worry, everybody. Espo is wearing the purple pants tonight. At least that's what I was told.
Okay.
That he is planning to put on the outfit before this game tips off. So fingers crossed that it comes through for us once again, even though he's not here.
It's like
you said you were going to put it on, didn't you?
So it's like a superhero costume change.
Yeah, he's like got to put on his Batman.
Got to get in the
I heard he never takes it off.
He
sleeps in it.
That
showers in it.
Rip the jeans away like rip away.
Like terrible pants. Yeah. I like that.
He likes the smell.
Oh, no.
Well, tonight the Phoenix Suns will face off against the Dallas Mavericks, this time in the Mavs building. And guys, I think we should start with the injury report because that was a concern for us at one point in time. It's still not great, but it's much better than it could have been. Bradley Beal, who was probable for this one, is available. Ryan Dunn, who was doubtful, unfortunately, is out. He's still dealing with that left ankle sprain that he got in the last game. Devin Booker was a late addition to the injury report with an illness. He went from questionable to game time decision to available, which is a huge positive for us. On the Mavs side of things, Maxi Kleber is out. Derek Lively is out. PJ Washington is out. And Dante Exum is out as well. So quite a full injury report, but thankfully, at least for the Suns, two of our guys are available.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I don't recall a time where I've ever seen Devin Booker on the injury report with an illness before. So whatever happened, he must be going through it right now. And it's kind of funny because as soon as I saw that it was an illness, I was like, okay, yeah, there's like a 99% chance he's still going to play, knowing what we know about Book. But glad that he's in this one. Hopefully it won't impact him too much. Glad that Bradley Beal is out there. It is a little rough not having Ryan Dunn, especially for this particular matchup. He did a really nice job on Luka last time, even though Luka went for 40 and was great pretty much all game. Dunn held him to 4 of 8 shooting, a couple of turnovers as well. So not having him for this matchup is a little tough.
It is tough, but I think what's tougher is not having your starting center.
Yeah.
In addition to a handful of your best perimeter defenders going up against an offensive-minded, prolific team like the Suns. The Suns had their way scoring against the Mavericks last time out with that team relatively healthy. They still had a few people out that game, but they had most of the bodies they need to defend well. They don't have a lot of those this game. I think that's heavily in favor of the Suns. I'm curious to see if they can execute the ways that they need to and how they go about doing that again, continuing on with the Budenholzer process offensively.
I think this shapes up pretty well for the Suns. Like, obviously, yes, that Booker is playing, but to your point, like they don't have Derek Lively, who has a lot of activity. He's a good young big in this league who really proved himself as a rookie last year. And, you know, Nurk played really well in this matchup against Dallas the first time around. This gave us some hope that it wasn't going to be terrible because remember, those first 2 games were brutal. And then he had this Mavs game, which was probably his second best game of the season so far. So you don't have to worry about Lively. You don't have to worry about Kleber either, who is a stretch big. And as we know, stretch bigs can give the Suns defense a little bit of trouble in terms of Nurk and Mason Plumlee getting out to the perimeter to guard those guys. So not having either one of those bigs, that means it's just Daniel Gafford that you have to worry about if you're Nurk. So hopefully he can build on what he showed in the first matchup, last week or whenever that was.
Yeah, I mean, he did finish that game with 18 points and 14 rebounds. He also had a block in that one as well. And Andre in the chat said, I wonder if Nurk is going to have another good game with them missing their center. Hopefully so, like you guys said. I mean, he has found a little bit of momentum in the last few days with the Suns. Hopefully we keep that rolling here. The same way they can keep their, you know what, insert the S word here, alive.
We're not saying the S word?
I don't want to jinx it.
I mean, we're 6 games into it. I feel like how long do we have to wait till we can say the word?
But I feel like
15 to 20.
I feel like if I say the actual word, then it'll come back and be a jinx to me, right?
All right. So we're
just
But y'all know what we're talking about, right? We
Sure.
just can keep the ball rolling.
Right.
I will also say we saw also Iguodala get a few impactful minutes against the Mavs.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the last time we really had like a substantial minute stretch.
Yeah.
A lot of these players in their front court being out, I'm hoping this means that he'll have more opportunity just for him to get more game reps, for him to get more chemistry in different lineups, and just to see what he looks like against another high-level offensive team with what he brings to the team defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a minute since we've seen him out there. And, that's because Mason Plumlee has been playing well. It's because Nurk has been playing better, and you're also not going to bench your starting center 8 games into the season. Sorry to burst anyone's bubble on that.
Breaking news.
Yeah, but I do think also, like, we've seen him play at the 4 a little bit in some stretches with Nurk, having Nurk as a spacer and Oso in the dunker spot on offense. And then on defense, Nurk guarding the big and Oso kind of guarding a taller 4 or something like that. So maybe we see some of that again at some point. Maybe we see them throw a change of pace out there because that's kind of what Oso is at this point.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't want anyone to worry about Oso's lack of playing time.
Yeah.
This team is still very high on what he's going to be able to do. But like we said, coming into the season, it's just going to take some time for him to get more reps and work his way into the rotation.
I mean, at the end of the day, he is a rookie. We did get a little spoiled with the way that Ryan Dunn has been impactful when he does see minutes for the most part. I mean, he did have a little bit of a dip a couple games ago, but again, it's just a reminder that they are rookies. This is kind of a part of the process, nothing crazy to worry about. But to Ryan Dunn not being in tonight, obviously he had the responsibility, main responsibility, if you will, of guarding Luka last game. Who are we tasking that tall task to tonight?
Yeah, so I think to start, it'll probably be Brad that's tasked with following him around or KD. I think all of these guys are going to get reps on him because, as you know, Luka is going to run a lot of pick and roll. He's going to hunt for mismatches. He's very good at doing those things. So everybody's going to have to be ready to step out on Luka because that's just what he does. I think coming off the bench, I think Royce is going to be key in that respect with Ryan Dunn out. They were able to throw this younger, bigger, athletic guard who's a really good defensive stopper on him last game. This game, you're going to rely on Royce a little bit more, especially because we know that he doesn't mind taking on stronger, bigger matchups in that respect.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Whoever it is, though, containing the ball to where you don't have to rely on double teams so heavily.
Yeah.
That's what they did very well in his first matchup with the Mavericks. And when you can force more one-on-one play because you're not in rotation, which is where Luka's a savant, period. But especially when he can nitpick on you and make your defense rotate and literally pull those strings like Geppetto.
Yeah.
That's where you really just can't figure him out because now he's scoring and he's getting the assist. It was more so just the scoring outside of passes to Klay Thompson last game. If they can keep him in that kind of box, and I put it in quotes because it's a proverbial box, it's still a prolific one.
Yeah.
But it's just not as all-encompassing. It's really just from point A to point B. There's no C, D, and E in there. They can keep them there. I like their chances, but they still have the work cut off for them.
Yeah, we know full well from that series back in 2022 what happens when Luka gets a defense in rotations and how unfair it is that he can both score one-on-one or make your defense rotate. So to your point, they do have to be very good about ball containment and hopefully not having to send too many doubles Luka's way because he's one of the best, probably 2 or 3 players in the world at assessing those, passing out of those, and making you pay for them.
Absolutely. Another area that I think could be something to keep an eye on in tonight's game is the Mavs 3-point shooting specifically. In their last matchup, the Suns were able to hold the Mavs to 31.7% from deep. On the season, they're shooting 35.5% from deep. There's a little bit of a dip from them from a three-point shooting perspective in that game. Are they going to be able to do that again tonight, especially without Ryan Dunn? So just another little nugget to keep an eye out on, and hopefully the Suns will continue to launch their threes and knock them down, because math, right?
Yes, the math is math. And the Mavs, the Suns are actually attempting more threes per game so far this season than the Mavs. Are shooting a slightly higher percentage as well. But as we know, last year, the Mavs can get them up in a hurry. They added Klay Thompson for a reason. So again, the three-point battle is going to be key in this one because both teams are looking to generate a high number of threes, and both teams have the shooters to be able to do it.
Yeah, both teams have the shooters and they have the primary players to draw those double teams in multiple contexts of play as well. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of adjustments both teams make as well. I think the Suns it kept it rather vanilla compared to how they've defended Luka in years past. I think it's because, like we both spoke to, they were able to contain the ball so well and so consistently. I wonder if Budenholzer has to press the versatility back more and not having Ryan Dunn, his best perimeter defender, in tow for this game in particular. So, and then from the other side, for Jason Kidd and company, the Suns had their way, especially halfway through the second quarter throughout the finish line of that game. I'm wondering what he can do defensively if he wants to tip his hand at all to try to take some things away from them.
So if Coach Bud decides to dig a little bit deeper into his bag or the bench because Ryan Dunn is not available for this one, who do you think gets the nod there? Do we see Josh Okogie potentially?
Maybe if Luka's really having his way, this might be a good game to kind of dust him off. Maybe we see some Monte Morris a little bit more. Not for that specific reason, like a one-for-one replacement, but just for the fact that he's kind of been on the outskirts of the rotation the last couple of weeks, and he was kind of that 8th, 9th, 10th guy in that range who would come in and give you some minutes. So it'll be interesting to see. We might see more Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal minutes just as a byproduct of not having Ryan relying on those guys maybe a little bit more.
I'm thinking more Grayson. I think this is a big opportunity for him. And kind of in alignment with that, I don't necessarily know that we see something unique as far as the rotation goes. I think it'll be more so scheme. They might do more switching and doubling for Luka, or they might just throw a few more all-out blitzes at him, especially in comparison to last time out. So those are kind of some of the things I'll be looking out for.
So no bowl? Y'all ain't got no hope, no faith that we'll get a little bit of bowl?
I don't know if this is the
I
matchup.
don't think so. Sorry, Andy.
He's definitely on the outside looking in right now, rotation-wise.
That's a bummer for Bowl. I remember, what game was it? Didn't we get Chance at the arena recently?
It was a couple games ago for a home
Bowl?
game. It was late. The Suns were up big. I think it might have been the Blazers game.
Yeah,
and then the
Blazers
Blazers kind of came roaring back there. So
they killed our
probably for the best.
They killed our dreams there.
Sure, we'll go with that.
It's an unfortunate situation, but it is what it is. What are the guys wearing in this one here?
Well, they're going with the white jersey that we've seen a million times.
No surprise there.
Yeah, pretty shocking stuff. The Mavs are going with their bland but clean blue. I mean, they're fine.
You're not a huge fan of these Mavs jerseys, Joe?
They're not bad. They're just like
fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
They're not. I like is it like the lime greenish? Is it a green piping or is it just white?
No, it's just a white and a little bit of blue, like a lighter blue.
I think it's just white, Grandma.
Well,
Do you need your glasses?
My contacts in 3 weeks, so maybe that means I should change them.
That might be a problem.
Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, guys, you ready to talk about some bets here and what we think about tonight's game?
Yeah.
All right, first and foremost, let's start with who we got tonight and by how much. Steven, you want to tip us off?
Yeah, I got the Suns by 7. They've been almost slipped up and said the S word, but they have been playing very well in multiple games in a row. I'm firmly expecting them to kind of quadruple down or quintuple down on that at this point and really kind of take it to a team that's been a thorn in their sides for multiple reasons the last handful of years.
Yeah, I'm going back to check
Gerald, you look really different on the score prediction graphic.
What?
Becoming a dad really aged me quickly before the child even arrived here.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
What did I have? I think I had Suns. I had Suns by 5.
Yeah.
Espo's got Mavs by 1.
Okay, and Espo is, of course, rolling similarly to the outfit. That's the reason why he's rolling with the Mavs, I'm assuming, on this one. I have the Suns by 4. But Espo also might be onto something because our friends over at the Bet365 app also have the Mavs winning this one. Isn't that right, Steven?
Yeah, you're right about that. They have the money line for the Mavs at -140, and on the spread, they have them at -2.5. And for the Suns, on the other side of things, the Suns are +120 and a +2.5 on the spread. Mavericks are the favorites tonight, like Gerald mentioned before we hopped on. You usually get at least a little bit of an advantage on the spread and the money line when you're the home team. So I think we see a little bit of that. I also think this came out before the news of the injuries that took place as well. So
yes,
be wise about your spending on this.
All right, it's time for our pregame picks presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app, use the code PHNX365 and you sign up, choose your offer, and find out why, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Okay, I'll start this one. I actually have a +350 bet tonight.
Wow.
Which is pretty big for me, okay?
Swinging for the
biggest one ever?
No,
because you have the first
I had
bet,
the first bet, which was like
bets,
+500 and stuff like that.
Look out, world.
So last time these two teams played each other, I took KD and Luka both to have 30 or more points, and that hit. I think that was a +500 or a +550. I'm going to kind of have a similar idea here. So I have Luka with 30 points tonight. For KD, I only took 25 points just because it seems like when he has two really big nights in a row or like a couple 30-point games that he gets close, it kind of drops down just a smidge. So I'm just being a little extra cautious because it's me. But here's where the real swing is and the fun part is. I took the over on Bradley Beal stocks tonight. It's 1.5 steals and blocks. But Brad has been averaging 1 block per game and 1.7 steals per game so far this season. We obviously didn't get to see how it turned out when the Suns and the Mavs faced off last time because Bradley Beal didn't play that game. But I like it. And on the Bet365 app, when you have a 3-leg parlay or more, you can also get a 30% boost on your profits. So it's a nice little paycheck if this one hits. So we'll see.
I was looking at the Bradley Beal stocks too. I was pretty interested in that one. Yeah. So I like where your head is at, which means I don't like where your head is at because I think that's a good bet. So I don't like that.
Look at you. I'm so excited. Ryan in the chat said that he loved my profit boost bet tonight. Thanks, Lindsay. Thanks, Ryan. I hope you're rolling with me on this one. Fingers crossed we get a win.
Actually, maybe me rolling with you is a bad sign for you, considering where I'm standing.
You aren't
in
doing
all
too
this.
hot.
That's tough.
We'll see. Well, Eric, what are you rolling with then?
This is getting me back tonight. 3-leg parlay and knock on wood, I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Katie, 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists combined. Royce O'Neal, 14.5 points, rebounds, and assists combined. And then Yusuf Nurkic, 20.5 points and rebounds combined. I also got a 30% profit boost. Thank you, Bet365. All at a +625.
Okay.
Well done. I mean, with the way he's been rebounding lately, he might just get there alone on rebounds for Nurk.
He had 18 and 14 against the Mavs last time they played. So here's hoping.
Steven, what about you?
Always keeping it fun. Big bets. The last handful of games in a row. Start off with the +1100. That should be the intriguing piece there alone. I got Luka for points, rebounds, and assists over on +48.5. I think he's a triple threat, no pun intended on that. To do that on any given night. He's nearly doing that on average this season. I think he's averaging about between points, rebounds, and assists, like 47-ish. 47 and some change. So he's viable to hit that, and he loves playing the Suns. He's at home on top of that, and they're without their primary defender.
Yep.
We'll see about it. Royce O'Neal, to that point, will be guarding Luka a lot, but independent of that, I think he's been on average money for, no pun intended, for the points, rebounds, and assists at +14 or over at 14.5. And then the last one, Bradley Beal, like Lindsay mentioned, did not play last game, but he's been seeing some successes from deep. Also, the Mavericks are a team that's heavy at the nail. I feel like that'll open him up on the second side for some wide open catch and shoot 3-point opportunities. I'm feeling confident in him knocking down 3 or more tonight.
We're predicting a bounce back game for Bradley Beal. There we go.
Let's go.
A lot of B's.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what Espo's putting his money on tonight. He's rolling with Tyus Jones' first basket again at a +1100. So Tyus Jones did take the first shot last game, but unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you're looking at this, he missed it. So Espo's going to have a little repeat there, and we'll see. I am a little bit concerned this season, mostly because last year Espo won because he hit like 3 big crazy bets the whole season, and that was it, but it was enough.
Right.
And Steven has been putting in some pretty hefty bets here, and so has Eric. So I'm a little bit nervous. I think that's
working,
why
though.
it hasn't, but that's not to say that it can't at some point and turn around for you guys. That's why I feel like I have to come with a couple. I need to not just rely on my minus 115, give me $2 at a time strategy this year.
I mean, yeah. You got to go with what works, but it's a long season. We still got a lot of time to figure things out.
And not that it matters because it doesn't show on the record, but I've been like substantially close in like most of these.
You have.
And there's like a late game heater from somebody or an odd cold shooting night or missed free throws.
Oh.
I'm not calling out no names, but I'm just saying, playing the percentages, trying to use a little bit of IQ with it, and then basketball. So
that's what you get for betting Oso Iguodala over 7.5 free throws made, man. Come on.
Correct, exactly.
That's exactly what it is. All right, well, let's go ahead and look at the leaderboard and see where everyone stands. Espo still in the lead with $50 to his name. I'm in second with $22.19. Eric is in third. He's minus $59.50, and Steven rounding us out minus $61.67. So you guys got some ground to make up, but like I said, you got big swings. So we'll see what happens in this one. If you guys want to get in on the action, make sure you download the Bet365 app. Again, use that code PHNX365 when you sign up. Now, disclaimer, you must be 21 or older and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov. Okay, so if I recall correctly, none of us had Devin Booker in any of our bets. Are we feeling any type of way about the fact that Devin did have an illness, which, Gerald, as you talked about at the top of the show, is very rare, if ever, that we've seen illness as a reason why Devin has missed a game, that maybe he's fighting through it a little too much and that could play a part in his performance tonight, one way or the other?
It could. I mean, I'm sure he's played through injury before in his career. We just haven't known about it because that's the type of player that he is. Every time we ask about anything that happens to him, the guy could get shot in the knee, and we would ask him about it afterward, and he would say, it's fine. Like, that's his go-to. So I mean, maybe it could affect him. Like, I think Dwayne Rankin reported that he has been playing through this injury for the past couple of days now.
Illness.
Illness. So that could be affecting him a little bit. He was saying after the game the other night that he still feels like he hasn't broken out of the shooting slump. And so he was a little frustrated by that. So maybe a good old matchup with Dallas is just what he needs to cure the shooting slump, if not the illness. But it could very well impact him.
Yeah, I almost put him in my bets for plus 3-pointers made. I feel like he's just gonna break the streak at some point. I don't think anyone's impervious to being sick while doing their job, but I do feel like there's some people that can kind of figure out how to navigate that well and still be productive. I think Devin Booker is one of those players, and like you just said, maybe just a little bit of a rivalry, add a little spice to it. All of a sudden, the sinuses clear up and. He's breathing clearly in the basket. It looks like the ocean. So
Can I say something, though? What the hell is it about Dallas that all our players get sick when they get there?
That's a great question.
Even if he's been playing through it, I don't know. For some reason, it always comes up when it's in Dallas, man. Something's going on.
Eric, I think you need to steal Espo's tinfoil hat.
You know, maybe.
And create a conspiracy around this because I like where your head's at here.
It is a little crazy.
There's just like airport workers secretly wearing Mavs shirts under their
right?
outfits.
They're just like, oh, let me
like,
sneeze into this vent here. Just real
Sorry,
quick.
Devin. My bad.
Oh my
That's
goodness
crazy.
gracious. Meatloaf in the chat said, it all depends on the headband. Guess what, guys? Gerald dropped his book headband article today.
I did.
At gophnx.com. It
The
is
sequel.
available to diehards. Tell us a little bit. Give us a teaser.
Yeah, so it's the sequel. I did this last year because people were complaining about the headband. So I wanted to see, okay, starting from when he first wore the headband back on March 8th, 2018, has he been better with or without the headband? Especially because last year he wore it all but like 6 games, I think, that he played in. So it's a full statistical breakdown of, is Devin Booker better with or without the headband this season for his career since he started wearing it? By color, based on whether he wears a white, a black, or a purple headband, home versus away splits. I dove way deeper than I probably should have once again, but if you were curious about that, go to gophnx.com. It is for diehards only. The first one was for free. The sequel is not. So make sure you sign up. You can get access to all of my content as well as discounted tickets to our events, a free t-shirt upon signing up, and our Discord as well, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah. And speaking of events that you get a discount to, we do want to share that we are doing a PHNX suite takeover on New Year's Eve this year. So this would make an amazing Christmas gift for the Suns fan in your life. Or if you want to celebrate the New Year's with us, you can always come and hang out at the suite. We're going to watch the Suns take on the Grizzlies, and the takeover package includes a game ticket, food and drink in the suite. And of course, we all get to hang out together and ring in the new year, hopefully with a Phoenix Suns win. So head to gophnx.com/events to get your tickets. And don't forget, once again, if you are a diehard, you do get a discount on that as well. Thank you all for joining us for the pregame show. We appreciate you. Don't forget to meet us right back here after the game wraps up for the postgame show. Okay, bye.
We all silly like the mayor.